Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko. Ugnayan ng Radyo Pilipinas World Service sa iba't ibang embahada ng Pilipinas upang maghatid ng impormasyon at kaalaman sa mga kalagayan ng ating mga kapwa Pinoy na naninirahan at nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko para sa isang makabayang serbisyo publiko para sa overseas Filipino workers. Babangon sa makabayang serbisyo publiko kasama si Ray Sampang dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Magandang araw sa ating mga tagapakinig dito sa ating himpilang Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Narito po tayo muli sa ating programang Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko kung saan ating iniugnay ang ating mga kababayan na nasa iba't ibang dako ng mundo sa ating mga embahada at konsulada. Sa ngalan ng ating kasamang si Ray Sampang, ako po si Steph Vicente. Ako po muna ang inyong makakasama para sa 30 minutong diskusyon patungkol sa mga serbisyong ibinibigay ng ating mga Philippine Foreign Service Post. Kasama din natin sa ating Master Control sa ating technical side, sina Milo Jonella at Susan Aison, habang sa production side naman ay kasama natin sina Win Peñano at Jerome Toledo. Sa edisyon ng Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko para sa araw na ito, itatampok natin ang ating embahada sa Wellington, New Zealand. Kung hindi po tayo nagkakamali, mayroong 5-hour time difference sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at New Zealand. Kumbaga, para po sa mga hindi nakakaalam, kung alas 12 ng tanghali dito sa Pilipinas ay 5 o'clock in the afternoon naman sa New Zealand. Samantala, ating makakasama para sa araw na ito, sina Her Excellency Kira Azucena, ang ating Philippine Ambassador to New Zealand, at si MP Paulo Garcia, ang representative po bale, dun sa mga hindi po nakakaalam, siya po ang member of the New Zealand Parliament for New Lynn. Siya rin ang kauna-unahang New Zealand MP na merong dugong Pilipino. Ayun po, welcome po Ambassador Azucena at MP Garcia dito sa ating programang Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko.
Salamat, Steph.
Thank you, Steph, and thank you for the warm welcome. Magandang hapon ho sa lahat ng mga nakikinig sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service, all the way from Wellington, New Zealand. Thank you for having us at your show, Steph.
Yes po, welcome po ulit sa ating programa and Happy New Year din po sa inyo pong dalawa. Para po sa unang sigwada po ng ating mga katanungan sa ating panayam po sa ating resource person sa araw na ito, paano po ba mailalarawan ang relasyon sa pagitan ng ating Philippine Embassy dyan po sa New Zealand at sa host country, which in this case New Zealand, Ambassador?
Yes, thank you, Steph. Very good po ang relations ng Philippine Embassy with our counterparts sa New Zealand government. Ang New Zealand is a very good host to the embassy and us officials of the Philippine government na nandito po sa Wellington. But in addition to that, very good host din sila sa ating mga kababayan na na nakatira na dito at pumupunta dito para magtrabaho or migrate talaga. So we have, they're very warm people, ang ating mga counterparts sa New Zealand, and very professional as well. So we are able to we were able to build very good working relations with them, lalo na dun sa mga sangay ng gobyerno nila na kailangan nating magtrabaho closely, lalo na for example sa Ministry of Foreign Affairs nila, sa kanilang Office of Immigration Affairs, at yung mga local city councils, and especially din ng kanilang parliament and the Office of the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister. So this good relationship between the embassy and our counterparts here is also a reflection of the state of our relations as a whole between the Philippines and New Zealand, which is long-standing, abiding, been around for a very long time, and continues to thrive and flourish, and promises to even be more fruitful and productive for both sides going forward.
Ambassador, matanong ko lang po, saan pong mga usapin po nagfo-focus yung relationship between the Philippines and New Zealand?
Okay. Thank you for that question. Very relevant and important question, lalo na at this time. In the first place, one of the pillars of our relationship with New Zealand is yung ating growing presence of our kababayans here in the country. In the past 4 years, we have seen quite a rise in the number sa laki ng ating Filipino community dito sa bansang ito. Sa ngayon ay nasa 108,000 na po kami mga Filipino dito sa New Zealand. So that remains at the center, or at least one of the most important aspects of our relationship, because it is the foundation for growing and further strengthening our friendship, and also opening up more areas of cooperation in other fields, no? But in the past year, especially, we have seen also an uptick in our relations in the political and economic and security aspects as well. Gawa po nung visit ni Prime Minister Christopher Luxon sa Pilipinas noong April last year, kung saan tinanggap po siya ni President Marcos on an official visit, the first visit of a sitting New Zealand Prime Minister in the past 16 years, if I'm not mistaken. So this visit was important and a milestone in many respects, because it signaled the interest of both countries to further energize its relationship and elevate it to a more productive level that would benefit both countries and both the Filipinos and the Kiwis comprehensively, no? So in fact, magandang yung visit ni Prime Minister Lacson na sinundan din kaagad ng visit ni Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Winston Peters nung June last year, 2 months after the Prime Minister's visit. It signals a re-energized bilateral relationship that paves the way toward for a comprehensive partnership in 2026. And 2026 is also a significant year for both countries, because that's when we mark the 60th anniversary of our bilateral relations. So as a result of that visit, marami ho tayong ma-look forward to in terms of new areas of cooperation. In particular, for example, in the field of mutual defense, no? Our economic relations, meron ho tayo mga bagong mechanisms na nilalagay para mapaunlad po yung ating economic relations with each other. And then also new areas of cooperation in other fields, for example, in maritime. As you know, priority po ng Pilipinas ang maritime cooperation, especially with our neighbors in Asia Pacific and the Indo-Pacific. And so this is always important for us to open new dialogue on maritime matters. So this is one of the things that we have also done with New Zealand. Marami pa hong iba, mostly naman on people-to-people links. Medyo malakas po yung ating bond and friendship with the people of New Zealand, and this is what has served as the foundation of our relationship for the past 60 years, almost 60 years at least. And so we want to celebrate that and strengthen that further by way of promoting understanding of our respective cultural and national heritage and identities, so that we can, towards more harmony in the future. But of course, again, in the center of the effort is making sure na there are mechanisms in place that would, especially here in New Zealand, that would protect and uphold the welfare of our Filipinos who have made New Zealand their second home. And kasama na po dyan yung ating, we have an existing labor agreement with New Zealand to make sure that the Filipinos that come here to work ay naaalagaan po yung kanilang mga karapatan and they get the best conditions for their work. And we have also, alongside that labor agreement, a dialogue where we are able to discuss matters of mutual concern with the relevant New Zealand government agencies on matters relating to labor and migrant workers coming from the Philippines into the country. So yun lang, I'll stop there for now.
Ayun, sa ating mga tagapakinig ay nabanggit sa atin ni Ambassador Azucena na nakapokus yung relasyon sa pagitan ng New Zealand at ng Pilipinas sa growing, sa lumalagong presensya ng mga Pilipino doon sa host country na New Zealand, nabanggit niya sa atin na 108,000 pala yung mga Pilipino na nasa New Zealand, na kumbaga malakas yung people-to-people links natin. Iba talaga yung kumbaga matatag ang relasyon sa pagitan ng mga Pinoy at mga taga New Zealand. At kumbaga nakatuon din yung yung relasyon ng Pilipinas at New Zealand sa usaping politikal, ekonomiya at seguridad. At kung ating matatandaan, nabanggit na rin ni Ambassador sa atin na bumisita last year dito sa Pilipinas si Prime Minister, New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon. Ayun. Ito naman po, curious naman po ako, since kasama natin ngayon si MP Garcia, sa kanyang point of view bilang kabahagi na po siya ng New Zealand Parliament, bilang kinatawan po ng Newlyn, paano po nakikita yung relasyon ng mga taga New Zealand at mga Pinoy, especially po dun po sa constituents po, dyan po sa Newlyn?
Steph, alam mo, firstly, just to say, I cannot hear Ambassador Kira when she's speaking. So, thank you for the parang summary that you just gave. And yes, but I can hear you clearly. So, Steph, there is, mataas. Magtatagalog na lang ako, mataas yung pagtingin ng mga New Zealander, mga Kiwi, at ibang lahi na New Zealander. Kasi ang New Zealand parang binuo siya ng maraming iba-ibang tao from different countries. So, among the Kiwis or mga Europeans, very, very high yung pagtingin nila sa migranting Pilipino. Bakit? Dahil nai-experience nila or may kilala sila na naka-experience na ng trabaho ng Filipino. Dahil sa dami ng Filipino sa New Zealand, marami ng tao na nakaka-experience ng work ethic ng Pilipino, At kasama na doon yung ating pagkasaya at saka yung ating pagtingin sa ating mga pamilya at sa ating care for others, So very high ang impression, Sa constituency sa Newlyn, kung nasaan ako, there are about 60,000 people in that constituency. Not very many Filipinos, but in general, the comments that I get are that Filipinos are very hardworking, that people have at some point gotten in touch with another Filipino or has been served by a Filipino, whether in a restaurant or in a healthcare setting, or has worked with a Filipino. They have all very good things to say.
Ayun, so narinig natin mula kay MP Garcia na kumbaga kahit kukonti lang yung population ng mga Pilipino dyan sa Newlyn na may kabuang 60,000 na mga katao ay ay maganda yung nagiging feedback na naririnig tungkol sa ating mga kababayan. That's good po, no? Especially lalo na sa darating, no, na 2026 ay 60 years na ang relasyon sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at ng New Zealand. Mabalik lang po ako dito kay Ambassador. Ano po bang mga bansa, no? O kung sino-sino po ba yung mga nasa ilalim ng jurisdiction po ng Philippine Embassy po natin sa New Zealand, at meron po ba kayong mga consulates po under the embassy po?
Thank you, Steph. Magandang tanong yan. Thank you for asking that. So, the embassy itself ay nasa New Zealand, sa capital city of Wellington. And syempre, we're in charge of New Zealand, our relationship with New Zealand. Pero, in addition po sa New Zealand, may hawak pa ho ang embassy natin na limang bansa in the Pacific Island, na meron din tayo, na ang embassy din po ang in charge ng relationship of the Philippines with the government of those countries. So these 5 are Cook Islands, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, and Niue. Etong mga 5 bansa na ito ay they are independent countries. They have their own heads of state and their own government. And so meron tayong diplomatic relations with each of these countries. Maliliit lang po sila. Fiji, I think, is the biggest among them. Ang population nila ay nasa just over 1 million ang population. Niue, I think, is the smallest among them. Ang population po nila ay 1,500 lang po. Kabuuan na yun, buong bansa. But notwithstanding how big their population is or the land area of these countries, we recognize them as partners, and that's why we have decided to establish diplomatic relations with them. And so, ang responsibility na yan to maintain and uphold and flourish the diplomatic relations with these countries ay binigay po sa Philippine Embassy dito sa Wellington. But in addition to the diplomatic side of it, meron pa rin hong additional responsibility in terms of consular jurisdiction ang embassy natin dito, and that applies to the French Polynesia territory. It's not an independent country. It's part of France, but it's in the Pacific. So because of the proximity of the islands to New Zealand, binigay po ang responsibility ng consular jurisdiction ng French Polynesia sa Philippine Embassy in Wellington. So ibig sabihin, ang Philippine Embassy in Wellington po ang mamamahala or magbibigay ng serbisyo ng mga Filipinos that are based in French Polynesia, among others. So yun po. Bale, New Zealand plus 6 ang hawak po ng Philippine Embassy.
So yan, nabanggit sa atin ni Ambassador na bukod sa New Zealand ay kasama, kumbaga, nasusubaybayan din ng ating embassy sa New Zealand ang mga sitwasyon sa Cook Island, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, Niue at sa French Polynesia. Ayan. So eto naman po, Ambassador, no? Since nabanggit kanina natin na 108 Filipinos yung nandyan pa lang po, no, sa New Zealand, meron po ba kayong datos sa kung ilan po, no, yung bilang ng mga illegal na Filipino workers po dyan sa New Zealand, at kung ilan po sila?
Okay. Thank you again, Steph, for that question. Wala po kaming information about if there are indeed any Filipinos who are here illegally. Illegally meaning wala silang visa that would support their stay in New Zealand. Hindi readily available yung information na yan. I'm not sure if we can even get our hands on that because there are strict privacy laws here in New Zealand that would prevent their government agencies from sharing such information even to the embassies of the nationals concerned. From time to time, meron hong lumalapit sa amin asking for assistance in, in fixing their problems with their visa, for example, or asking na kung pwede silang tulungan na umuwi na lang kasi hindi sila makahanap ng trabaho, and as a result, they have overstayed their visa. So, hindi naman ho marami ang mga kasong ganyan na nilalapit sa amin. So, it's, but still, kahit pa paano, meron ding nalalaman namin na ganun. But we don't have official information.
Amba, ano naman po ang mga common problems mga karaniwang problema na hinaharap po ng ating mga OFW o mga Pinoy na residente na diyan po sa New Zealand?
Thank you. Well, since last year kasi parang New Zealand has had to grapple with some problems on their economy, no? So marami ho silang it's a global phenomenon naman siguro na yung mga economic downturns experienced especially after COVID. And as a result, maraming mga initiatives and reforms and new measures na inimplement ng government to cut costs or to fix their fiscal situation. So as a result, medyo dumami po, especially last year and especially after COVID, yung mga businesses in New Zealand na nagsara or had to downsize, for example. And syempre may effect po ito sa kanilang mga empleyado, lalo na dun sa mga nag-e-employ ng foreign workers. No, marami ho din, medyo malaki din po kasi yung number ng ating mga Filipino workers na pumunta dito sa New Zealand on a work visa. No, and sometimes their work visa, the conditions of their work visa allows them also to bring with them their spouse and minor children. So kung sila mismo ang nawala ng trabaho because the company that's based here ay nagsara kasi nalugi, of course that's a big problem for them, and not just for them but also for the family. Their family, whether their family is here in New Zealand with them or naiwan po sa Pilipinas. So in fact, just in Christmas of 2023 ba yun, Conjen, no? We experienced just that this particular case na isang malaking company that had in its roster a large number of Filipino workers who came here to New Zealand to work and therefore were on a work visa, nagsara, no, na naging bankrupt. So that resulted in the loss of employment of about just over 400 Filipinos, good mix of work visa holders and residents. So yun, that was an example of parang it demonstrated ano yung problema or challenges that Filipino workers who come here to work in New Zealand are facing, especially in this time. Medyo hindi ho maganda ang state ng economy nila. So of course we the embassy together with the DFA and the Migrant Workers Office did its part. We made sure na merong one-time financial assistance itong mga kababayan natin na nawalan ng trabaho. And we also made representations with our counterparts at the New Zealand Immigration to make sure na yung kanilang visa ay maayos din. Kasi dito Steph, sa New Zealand, pwede ka namang mag-change ng employer, no? If you lost your job because the company that you work for closed down, then you have a particular period of time na maghanap ng bagong employer and then get a new visa for that employment.
Mm-mm.
So yun lang ang one good example that I can cite of the kind of challenges that our workers here face, no, when it's related to their work condition. But other than that, wala naman hong notable challenge, other forms of challenge that the Filipinos face here. Maganda naman po ang New Zealand. It's a very easy place to live in. Very hospitable naman po ang environment in terms of work and other areas. The community itself here, ang ating mga kababayan dito, the Filipino community, they're very close-knit, if I may say. And they're, katulad ng sinabi ni Empalo, very well-respected naman po sila. And they were able to build for themselves and maintain a favorable reputation of what the Filipino is in New Zealand. So, yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Ayun. Thank you so much po, Ambassador, po dyan po sa inyong naging kasagutan. Kumbaga, all in all, sabi nga ni Ambassador ay ang New Zealand ay isang, kumbaga, easy place to live in, no, especially pagdating doon sa employment. Ambassador, matanong ko lang pala bilang pahabol po doon sa mga nabanggit nyo kanina, ay ano po bang mga trabaho yung karaniwang mga kinukuha ng mga Pinoy dyan po sa New Zealand?
Well, thank you, Steph, for that question. We have a good mix of the types of work na nandito sa New Zealand. Among the residents, I can say that many of them are in, there's a good number that work in the IT sector, in banking, and of course in the service industry, like especially the hospitality industry. So for example, kung pupunta ka sa Queenstown, a very popular tourist destination, and you check into a hotel, malamang you will see a Filipino there, or any travel agency or a car rental service, malamang may mga Pilipino dyan, even restaurants, no? Whether as managers or service staff or even owners. We have quite a number of entrepreneurs here as well. We also have, of course, our nurses are very well regarded here. I always hear from my counterpart in government, in the New Zealand government, that especially during the COVID period, sinasabi nila it was the Filipino nurses that propped up their health system. So it's a very good testament of how our nurses are perceived and very much appreciated in this country. On the other side of it, we also have quite a number of blue-collar workers, yung mga nasa construction industry like carpenters, crane operators, ano pa ba? Butchers, no? Those that work in the farms. Marami, well represented din po tayo sa farming industry dito. Whether it be a dairy farm or a agricultural farm producing some kind of product. And then also meron ding hong mga those working in the public sector, like in all levels, from bus drivers to ano pa ba, cleaners, and also yung mga I met a number of workers a number of Filipinos that work, for example, in the Ministry of Education, in their internal, parang DILG nila dito, in some capacities. And notably, there are also those Filipinos who serve in the city councils of the local governments, in many local governments here across the country. So we are well represented. And those that have been here for quite some time and who have been able to establish themselves, properly, they're quite which I would think is more than half, consists of more than half that the total community in New Zealand. They're well respected, they're well connected, they have resources, and therefore they are empowered. And that's why we have a very active Filipino community dito sa New Zealand. Active in the sense that, you know, they are they organize so many activities, especially those that promote our Philippine culture. Active also in the sense that they are now a growing presence in the entrepreneur space, whether it be a restaurant or a small business here and there, or a repair shop, auto repair shop. And they're also, in addition to that, on the other side of that, being of that sense of being empowered, they also have a very strong civic responsibility, especially for their own kababayans, lalo na dun sa mga bagong dating, for example, no? Sila yung nagbibigay ng o nagpuput up ng programs specifically to help out, to assist our kababayans in distress. And therefore, the embassy works with these Filipinos and Filipino organizations very closely. We reach out to them. We have a good working relationship with all of them, and that we help each other, because they're aware of what the embassy can do, but at the same time, maliit lang po ang embassy, 12 lang po kami, di 13 pala. And then we're responsible for the entire country plus 5, and so they recognize that, while we do want to be everywhere at once, it's just not possible. So we rely so much on our partnership with them to be able to do what we want to do.
Okay.
So ito lang muna.
Gawin naman po tayo, mabilisan lang po dito kay MP Garcia, no? MP Garcia, paano po ba natin isinusulong ang karapatan ng mga Pilipinong nasa New Zealand dahil kayo po ay parte na ng parlamento diyan po sa host country?
Ang work ko kasi bilang member of parliament is to look at laws na nag-a-apply sa buong bansa, no, sa lahat ng tao. That said, merong mga specific areas na happen to be of benefit to Filipinos, like if it's an immigration policy or policy that or law that has to do with how peace and order and safety and crime is addressed in the country, yung mga ganyan, no? So in general, while I am Pinoy and I am in parliament, yung work has to do with the whole country. So nakakatulong sa lahat, including the Filipino migrant community, especially because kailangan ng Filipino community, just like anyone else, ng isang bansa na maayos yung takbo and yung mga batas ay helpful sa pamumuhay nila, na matiwasay at saka mayroong daan para sila ay magprogreso. So kaya nagpo-progreso ang mga Filipino sa New Zealand because they work hard and because more and more trust and responsibilities are given to them by many employers, no, nationwide. So very, very few ang problems, as Ambassador has mentioned. Narinig ko yung last bunch of answers ni Ambassador na napakagaling, because we do not come with problems. No? We are a migrant community that does not come with problems. So for sa larangan ng pambabatas, and also with how the country moves, we can only see benefits coming from the Filipino migrant community. Yung merong mga little bits and pieces, like when you asked about problems, merong mga little pieces like mga laws na hindi sanay ang Pilipino na kailangan nilang mas maintindihan, and so there are some little problems with that. Pero overall, siguro my job in relation to the community is to be able to give them as much information and knowledge as possible to help them settle, no? Kasi kaiba yung pamamalakad ng bansa, at saka in a sense yung law is very
Ayun, gusto ko man pong pahabain ang ating diskusyon ay wala na po tayong oras. Ayun,
thank you.
Yes po. Maraming salamat po sa ating mga naging resource person for today sa ating programang Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko, kay Her Excellency Kyra Azucena, ang ating Philippine Ambassador to New Zealand. Maraming salamat po, Ambassador. At kay MP Paulo Garcia, member po ng New Zealand Parliament for New Lynn. Ayun. So, dito na po nagtatapos ang ating programang Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko sa ngalan ng ating kasamang si Ray Sampang. Ako po si Steph Vicente. Isang mapagpalang araw po sa ating lahat.
Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko. Ugnayan ng Radyo Pilipinas World Service sa iba't ibang embahada ng Pilipinas upang maghatid ng impormasyon at kaalaman sa mga kalagayan ng ating mga kapwa Pinoy na naninirahan at nagtatrabaho sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko para sa isang makabayang serbisyo publiko para sa overseas Filipino workers. Babangon sa Makabayang Serbisyo Publiko kasama si Ray Sampang dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service.